I'm Amy Cherry. This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, here to wow ya. COVID-19 testing in Flagler County is ahead of schedule. John Arking has the details.
Flagler County Health Officer Bob Snyder says they had set May 31st as the deadline to reach the 2% threshold for testing in Flagler County, but they were able to meet that goal on Monday. In addition, Snyder says the numbers continue to improve.
We received test results for 84 people in our electronic lab reporting system in Tallahassee. So we received 84 results on Friday, 0 positive cases. On Saturday, we received 75 electronic lab results for testing, 0 cases. So that's a real wonderful trend, meaning the positivity rate of new cases has been 0 the last 3 out of 4 days. So very nice to see that. And the other indicator is weekly count of ED visits for influenza-like illnesses is in a downward trajectory and has been so since March 29th.
Snyder says there was a bit of a spike the week of April 19th, but the downward trend has held steady since then, including weekly visits to the emergency room with COVID-like complaints. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm John Arking.
Amid the coronavirus pandemic, masks have seen a bit of an evolution. CDC guidance changed several weeks ago on this front, with public health experts now recommending everyone wear a cloth face covering to prevent spread of the virus. Flagler Medical Director Dr. Stephen Bickle talks about the findings of a recent study.
If 60% of the population wore masks consistently, and the masks were not super fancy N95 masks, they're just homemade masks that were 60% effective in limiting the spread, that measure alone would be enough to bring the R0, which is the spread number, down to 1. And at 1, the disease stops multiplying. It basically just sits there, at the same level in the community.
That, he says, combined with other measures to limit the spread, gets it down to below 1.
And then that means the disease starts diminishing in your community. So it's just a huge, quite low-cost strategy that I think really should be virtually universal. I mean, it's hard to defend not doing it.
Bickle also isn't a fan of the my body, my choice argument when it comes to mask wearing.
And the thing that people talk about with their freedoms and all this, it's like, yeah, your freedom to infect other people, it's not particularly a freedom that I'd be, in favor of promoting.
Bickle says masks are so effective because the contagion from the illness comes from either asymptomatic or pre-symptomatic persons. A domestic dispute turns violent. Police handcuffed a Palm Coast man after they say he threatened his wife and son with a gun, asking them if they wanted to die. Sheriff Rick Staley says his deputies were called to the scene Saturday night.
Investigation determined that the individual is having an argument with his spouse and child and pulled a gun in the car and pointed it at both of them. The wife managed to get the gun and throw it out the window, at which point the offender got out of the car to try to retrieve it and then fled.
K-9 Axel located the gun near a wooded area, and a short time later, a chopper located suspect Larry Batson Jr. running on foot near Emmons Lane. He came out from hiding before K-9 Axel could step in. Batson faces charges of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, domestic violence, possession of a concealed weapon, and resisting arrest. A Palm Coast man faces child porn charges. Tony Magoo reports.
After a lengthy investigation by the Internet Crimes Against Children Unit of the Flagler County Sheriff's Office that started with a cyber tip, a search warrant was issued. Flagler County Sheriff Rick Staley.
Detective Lashbrook did an outstanding job with our new cyber crimes unit by apprehending a pervert that had 30 photos of child sex on his computer.
The arrest warrant was executed May 9th with help from members of the Volusia County Sheriff's Office and the North Florida ICAC Task Force. Several electronic devices were seized during the search, and a forensic analysis of the devices was conducted. The results of the analysis found numerous images and videos of child pornography.
One of the worst offenses that can be committed against a child.
46-year-old Mario Arnez Arder was charged with 30 counts of possession of images of the sexual performance by a child, a second-degree felony. He was booked at the Sheriff Perry Hall Inmate Detention Facility, where he's being held on a $100,000 bond. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Tony Magoo.
What if you need a job, but you have no training for that job?
CareerSource Flagler Volusia can help. Robin King is the CEO and the president and says that there is money to train people to get them back into the job market.
So if someone doesn't have marketable job skills that we can support their going back to school, we have scholarships available up to $7,800 a person.
King said that the money comes from an emergency grant. She said that it would help people acquire skills for jobs that are in demand in Flagler and Volusia counties. If you're unemployed and you're looking for work during these difficult times, contact CareerSource Flagler Volusia at 386-313-5602. Tomorrow, unemployment in Flagler County. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Deb Albertson.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Amy Cherry.